There is a possibility the security guard might have a word with us, but he'll wait. He'll wait.
Do you want to have a word first? Because I'm at home, I feel bad.
No, it's fine. Honestly.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think some of the classes go until 9 o'clock, so.
8:30 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be at the guard's gate.
Good.
I've started recording whenever you're ready, Imogen.
Okay, so this is my subject specialism and e-learning assignment again, and it's the evaluation of my e-learning resource. So my target audience, they are pre-entry SEND students, and they're my Horizons volunteering and community class. They're full-time students that I've been teaching since September, and they'll complete their studies with me in July this year, and they'll progress on to the next year of volunteering and community. I have 8 within the group, and they have specialist support workers who support them in classroom, but also around college. They have severe learning difficulties, which is classed as SLD, and they all have EHCPs. 80% of the students use Makaton to communicate. 2 out of 8 are non-verbal, so they use vocals, and 3 out of 8 have speech and language issues. So I'm not going to go through them all, but these are my learning objectives for the lesson. So it was about making a cup of tea. So sequencing making a cup of tea independently, and then assessing the quality of their cup of tea. I'm sure you've all heard of me talk of this before, but this is our solar statement. So this is what we use to create our lessons. And under independent living, these are what they had to be assessed on. So I assessed the learners. This is the document that I gave their support workers when they were doing the activities. So on Solar, we have 3 stars. One's that they did it with full support, 2's that they did it with prompts, and 3's that they did it independently. And these are obviously the things that I looked at. So my support workers, as they were going through the activities, were just ticking what if they needed prompts, if they could do it by themselves, or obviously if they needed full support for each activity. So what was I hoping to improve? So support my students to work at their own pace, to encourage paperless learning. I actually spoke to my manager a few weeks ago, and she said our department is nearly 60% of the college's like use of printing and copying. I want to support motivation and engagement, particularly as they struggle to concentrate for long periods of time, but also to be more accessible for my students, catering to their individual needs. So how did I meet their individual needs? So I did a multi-sensory learning approach. I incorporated video, audio, and widget symbols with text. The digital activity itself was self-paced. So students worked through this on their own with their student support worker. I had right and wrong answer boxes. So this provided immediate feedback and also helped the students understand their mistakes and learn from them. I will show you, but they could also, if they did get it wrong, go back and try again. And I provided a step-by-step instruction so they could all access the resource. So series that I looked at before designing my resource was constructivism. So my take for SEND students is creating an interactive and engaging activity that allows them to explore and learn at their own pace. And cognitivism, sorry, it's late at night. Again, for my take for SEND students, it involves designing resources that support memory, problem solving, and critical thinking skills. So some of the legislations I looked at was the Equality Act. So it mandates that reasonable adjustments are made to accommodate SEND students, and the accessibility regulations, so ensuring that the PowerPoint presentations are designed to be accessible. So my actual lesson, so I showed all the equipment in the PowerPoint. I showed the PowerPoint to the students. It had all the equipment and the steps that were needed to make the cup of tea. I included audio with me speaking and asking the questions. I included a series of videos that support videos of their support worker making the cup of tea. The videos were supported with text and widget symbols, and they included right and wrong answer boxes that they could choose from that were hyperlinked, and all students use a computer to access the PowerPoint resource. So these are slides from my lesson. So as you can see at the top one, this is the title page, so it got the text with the widget symbols above, and they could click on the audio to hear me speaking the text to them. It then went on to tell them what they needed with multiple pages. Again, it's me speaking, a picture of like a real life object like the water and the widget symbol for that. And again, they could click on the audio to hear me saying the words. And then it included a snippet of a video of their support worker making a cup of tea in the Future's kitchen, which is familiar to themselves, which I also think really helped with them learning. Once they'd watched a video, a snippet of a video, so the first one was like filling up the kettle and boiling the kettle. It was a quiz, and the students could pick which one they thought was the right answer. If it was incorrect, it went to a slide that said incorrect, try again. They could go back and have another go. And that included like a duh sound, and they absolutely loved that. I think some of them were actually trying to get them incorrect on purpose. But if they did get it correct, it would be like a cheering sound, and they continue on to the next video and carry on until it was all completed. I'm not going to make anyone have a go. I don't know if anyone's even left there.
Well, there's 4 of us still here, don't worry.
Oh God. So I used a digital resource, a practical assessment and worksheets. So they had to go at the digital resource first. They then did the practical of actually making the cup of tea. And then we did some worksheets. The worksheets were mainly because the students can't write sentences or have any letter recognition. So what I did is I gave them a sheet that said I can sequence making a cup of tea. They cut out the stages and they had to obviously put them in order of what they thought from watching the video was how they made a cup of tea. For the more able learners, or the ones that did make a mistake when they were making their cup of tea, I gave them this here. I don't know if you can see. Oh, here, which basically said I made a mistake. What could I do next time? So it involved them thinking a little bit deeper. And then obviously due to the nature of my students, I asked them verbally for feedback. So I went round individually with some widget symbol options. And some of the pros I got was I like computers good, miss voice funny. They found it hilarious that I was speaking on the video. They pointed out that Donna, their support worker, was making the cup of tea. And I also found that the students that could use the computers engaged really well in the activity. However, it did take us about 45 minutes to actually log on to the computer and the digital resource. And I think this is just due to the nature of my students. Letter recognition, logging on, trying to actually get their head around the resource took a lot longer than I thought. So for an hour activity, it actually took us all afternoon. They said hard, not understand. One thought it was hilarious that it tells me that they'd done bad, and I had to kind of explain to them, you weren't doing bad. It's okay to try again. And that was a big conversation that opened up because of that. And then as the opposite to what I found with the pro, the students that were really struggling just disengaged quickly and started twiddling their thumbs, didn't really want to do the resource anymore, wanted to make a cup of tea and have a sit down and drink the cup of tea, really. So yeah, thank you. Any questions? And this is my bibliography for quickness.
Brilliant. What I will do though is
Sorry. Thanks guys for staying.
No, thanks for staying. And just to say, I will share your slides with everybody on Google Classroom. So when you get your feedback from your peers, they'll have had a look by then. All right, Imogen.
Well done, Imogen.
Thank you.
Well done,
Sorry.
So if you
Thanks
can have a
for
look in the next day or two when you get a chance. All right.
Thank you.
Well done, Imogen. We got there, and really well done. It's been a really, really good night. And let me just stop the recording, actually.
We'll have to upload the slides, won't we, Adam?
Say again, sorry. Yes, please. Yeah.
And then I'll need to.
I can't get onto eVision, Adam. I've just tried. I'm stressing myself all day. I can't get onto eVision.
Right.
Having problems. I can get onto Canva.
Okay.
But it's not.
It's your graduation, isn't it? You need for.
It's a 2nd of May, so I need to.
Yeah.
Adam,
So
I think I know why. My issue is, sorry, but there's still like a massive mix up with college actually paying for it, and I don't know whether it's to do with that.
Right.